So what we're looking at here is a past functional skills level 2 maths paper from the legacy collection. So what I just need you to remember is when you're looking at these questions, always RTFQ, read the question very, very carefully. In doubt, your tutor will explain these 4 words to you that you actually have. But remember, a lot of times you'll find the actual answer to the question is actually in the question itself if you read. Things that you need to know. Averages, median. These will come up quite frequently. And the median is the middle number in a set of data. So for an odd total of numbers, it's quite straightforward. We count in from the 2 extremities, from left to right, and the number that we get in the middle will actually be the median. So in this case, as we put the number set into order, 6, 9, 14, 16, 24, we've crossed in, and what we now find is that 14 will be our median number, the middle number. So with this, continuing with the median now, what happens if we have an even set, i.e. there are, say, 6 numbers in the set, so it's even. Again, we put the numbers into numerical order, as shown in the example here, and we cross in from left to right and keep going until you reach the 2 middle numbers, in this case 18 and 29. We then add these up, and 18 plus 29 equals 47. 47 divided by 2 equals 23.5, and that will actually be our median average. Keeping with averages, we now look at the mode, which is another form of average, and that is the most common number in a set of data. So we look at our number set here, 10, 12, 15, 10, 12, 15, 10, and we can notice that there are 3 10s. Therefore, the mode, the most common, or the most fashionable if you prefer, is 10. If there is not a number that comes up more than once, then there will be no mode. Come across is the range, and this is the area of variation between the highest and lowest numbers in the set of data. So if we look at this number set that we have here, we have 10, 15, 20, 24, 30 and 45. To find what we need to do, we take the highest number and the lowest number, 10 being the lowest, 45 being the highest. Subtract 45 from 10 equals 35, therefore our range will be 35. And as saying, as we're going through all this, if you wish to take photographs of the screens with the answers on, please feel free to do so, because you can use these as a revision tool. So what we have here is an example of a typical functional skills question. What happens is there'll be a specific theme that might run through. So in this specific instance, we're looking at railways. So the individual here called Petra works for a train company. She writes a report for her manager. And the table shows the number of passengers who used a train station last week. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And each one of those days we have numbers of passengers with a figure below it. So what we're looking at is working out the daily mean, or the mean daily number of passengers who use the train station. A mean is simple. You add everything up and divide by the total amount. So in this case, I'm adding Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all up, dividing by the days of the week, which is 7, which gives us 23,800 passengers. And that is our answer. It's as straightforward as that one. Add everything up, divide by the total amount, and there is your answer. And remember, when you do these answers, detail things like passengers, or put the pound signs in, or put the weights of measurement or weights signs in, because that could be crucial for your answer. In addition, always remember, show your workings out, because you can write an answer, but that might not necessarily win you all the points. You win more points for showing what you've actually done to work the answer out and the question out, so make sure that you do that. Again, because that's quite applicable, because even if you do get the end answer slightly wrong, if you've actually shown a process that is correct to actually try and work the answer out, you'll still get points. Key. What we also see here as well is a typical question which they like you to show, which is reverse the calculation. It's like doing a check answer. So they'll actually say, do a reverse calculation or use the box to show you check, which is what we've done here. So I've just literally reversed the whole process. Instead of dividing, I'm multiplying. Instead of taking away or subtracting, I'm actually using addition or adding things up. So remember that is a key thing. These are quite frequent that come up. So remember to have a format in your head how you do these. One of the favourite ones might be, for example, a school has 120 staff, 70 of them are teaching assistants. What percentage of them are teaching assistants? Okay, so what you need to do in a case like this, you take the smaller number, divide it by the bigger number. So 70 teaching assistants divided by 120 staff gives us 0.5833. To find a percentage of that, you multiply it by 100, which gives you your 58.33%, which is how many teaching assistants there are in this school compared against the amount of staff. So continuing on theme of this particular angle of the paper, we're continuing with our theme of trains. So Petra has information about arrivals of train times last week. We have the arrival times listed across the top and number of trains listed across the bottom on the table. We are told the train company is a target of which 98% of trains must arrive no more than 10 minutes late. Was the target met last week? What do we think? So we have to go and prove this. So we know that up to 287 trains were on time. 54 trains up to 10 minutes late, which is our threshold. So this then becomes straight addition. 287 trains plus 54 gives us 341. This is where we're going to be basing our target on. We know that 17 trains are more than 10 minutes to 30 minutes late, and 5 trains are more than 30 minutes late. So you need to add these up to work how many trains there are in total. So that gives us a grand total of 363 trains in total. So think back to the previous page where we had to try and find a percentage out of teaching assistants. The smaller number is divided by the bigger number. So that's 341 divided by 363, which gives us our 0.9393, which essentially is going to be our percentage. But to make that into a percentage, we times that by 100, which gives us 93.93% trains on time. So on that basis, there's meant to be 98% trains on must arrive that must no more than 10 minutes late. In fact, the answer is no. It's actually 93.93 trains being on time. Now again, as you're going through, take photographs of these screens as they're going through, because you can use them then as a revision tool at a later point should you wish. Consider volume. And things like perimeter, area, volume come up quite frequently in these tests, so that's obviously a good area for you to go and look at and revise and check back. But we've got an example of volume here, length times width times height. So we have three things going on. That's always useful again because that helps you recognize volume with the little 3 that we have to put in. That means cubed. That's good because it means 3 processes are going on. So we've got our length times our width times our height, which in this case is 5 times 4 times 8, which gives us 160 centimeters cubed. The question we have here is of a slightly different tack. It is in regards to use a formula. Now, immediately you see a formula, you probably think, I can't do it. Take a step back. The formula there is to help you work something out. And if we look carefully at this question, we can see that that actually answers the question for us. So Josh is a product designer for an electrical company. He designs a new lamp. Josh will use plastic to make the lamp. He uses this formula to work out the amount of plastic needed. So B equals B squared plus 2BH. P, the amount of plastic needed. B is the length of the base. H is the slope height. The length of the base will be 13 centimeters. The slope height of the lamp will be 34 centimeters. Josh thinks the amount of plastic needed to be less than 1,000 centimeters squared. Is he correct? Right. RTFQ. The question is half answered for you, but you need to split the formula down. So, B2 is actually B squared. So all we're doing is timesing the length of the base of the lamp, which is 13 centimeters by itself. 13 centimeters times 13 centimeters. 169 centimetres squared. Then the 2BH. If letters and numbers are put like that, straight together with no gaps, no symbols in between, it means multiplication is taking place. So all this becomes is 2 times 13, which is the base, times 34, which is the height of the lamp, which gives us 884 centimetres squared. And all we need to do is add these two figures together, 169 and 884 together, which gives us 1053 centimetres squared, which is actually what our answer is. So the answer is no, 1053 centimetres squared. So again, once you've taken your photographs of this screen, take the time to go away and digest the question, and you can see how it starts to be broken down. So if we're looking at this one, which is ratio, Josh wants to make a lamp purple. He uses dye to make the purple plastic. Right, I'm going to let you read this question and digest it. Put on pause and read the question through. So you've now taken pause off as you read the question. Don't overread the question, it's not as complex as it appears. Ratio is 9 to 3 to 15. Add that up, it's 27. We already know that in that case then, if the purple dye, Josh, is going to be 30 litres of green dye, we know everything's going to be in tens. So 27 times 10 gives us 270 litres, which basically means our 3 is going to be 30 litres. Another method is everything is all in tens. If you break this down, question, red is 90 litres, green is 30, and blue is 150. Add 30 plus 90 plus 150, that gives us our 270, which gives us the same outcome. So that ultimately is how many litres are going to be made, 270. Again, put this on pause, have a read, digest, or take your photographs. And then we have a check back answer here, which is 270 litres minus 150 minus 90, which gives us our 30 litres, which is the figure that we actually want. What you sometimes find some of these questions is they ask you to deal with decimals, either rounding them up or rounding them down to the nearest whole number. It's 2.8427865, which are going to round to 2 decimal places. So you are looking at the number after the 2 decimal points. It's the third number which will be the decider. So in this case the decider is 2 because it is less than 5. Okay, the decider is 2 is less than 5. So we've got to remember is 1 to 4, unless stated otherwise you will always round down. 5 to 9 you will always round up. So in this case it's 2.842, that's less than the 5. Our answer will be 2.84. However, if that 2 was a 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, we would be rounding up. Therefore, that number would become 2.85.